Hi, welcome to a brand new video of the target individual experience. You have to excuse the webcam for whatever reason. It just having problems. It keeps stopping. So, who knows? All right. Well, seems to be a little better now that I start the video. Okay. But I am going to turn it off and continue on with the video, so you guys are just going to hear me speak, and I'll put back on the webcam when I feel necessary, when I feel it's necessary. So update on my targeting. Still being targeted. They're running can't call it street theater because it's in the school and in the college, so they're running classroom and hallway theater, using various tactics, particularly, young college women, young college girls, to, psychologically harass and threaten me, and, it's just really sad, right, that people will engage in such behavior. Okay. So the site psychologicalharassment.com, particularly this part here, coercive mind control tactics. I advise if you want to read this. If you haven't, please do it. Go and read it, study it, memorize it. This is going to help you dearly. Okay. So one of the things that they do in a coercive persuasion program, in order to get you to comply, or when they're trying to coerce you into compliance, is that they will use intimidation tactics, right? And they will try to control your emotions. They will try to make you feel like you're powerless, and there's nothing that that's going to be done about what it is that they're doing to you. Okay. And Tactic 7, especially, where it says intimidate the person with the force of group sanctioned secular psychological threats. For example, it may be suggested or implied that failure to adopt the approved attitude, belief, or consequence behavior will lead to severe punishment or dire consequences, such as physical or mental illness, the reappearance of a prior physical illness, drug dependence, economic collapse, social failure, divorce, disintegration, failure to find a mate, etc. Now, I talked about all these things. Okay, and so when they, I guess whenever they feel I'm not, that they can't indoctrinate me with whatever it is that they're trying to indoctrinate me with, they will start some stuff. And Pamela is which is the mother of my two children. She's a big part of them using someone against me, and they'll use her a lot, right? So I talked about how lately she's been walking, doing the palm fixation drill. Okay, meaning she'd walk in front of me, she'd turn her wrists towards me, with her palms open, and it's something that they do, and I've showed videos of this. I even have a video of her doing it, but I'm not going to put it up. So they've been using her to do that stuff. And yesterday we got into a big argument. It's already, we've constantly arguing over the years, and I've always talked about it on video and stuff like that. And I think it was, we were being microwave, right? We were being microwave because it got very heated, and I left and stuff, and because the way how yesterday was, and when I get to the video, you guys are going to see that it started early. Okay, and so. Whenever we're being heavily microwaved, that's what happened, right? And so they love to have us argue with each other, and then when I leave, I get targeted by people wearing predominantly, like white shirts, okay? And then they'll start, they'll do like 3 fingers instead of 4. So when we speak, when I get home, we speak and things is good, and and the thing is that we've been through this for years and years and years. We argue, we break up, we get back together, and these people know this, right? So they could still continue to do this, but the results are always the same, right? So what is the definition of insanity? right? Is when you do the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. And they do the same shit over and over again, expecting a different result over the years, and they've gotten the exact same results, right? So these tell you that these people are really the crazy ones, right? Really, they are the insane ones. Okay. So if you go onto the website Cult Education Institute, okay, it gives you a very good there's a very good article on coercive persuasion and attitude change. Okay, and the one thing that I want people to understand, and they know this, okay, and they'll use a lot of tactics to to get those of us who they try to manipulate, who they try to coerce, to go along with the coercive persuasion program. So they may say, well, if you go along with it, we'll give you a job, or if you're a man, we'll give you this gorgeous looking woman, you can have her. It just shows you how they use people as toys, right? Even today, I left the school and I'm walking to the train station, and there was a young woman. She was very, very pretty, and she kept looking at me. She kept looking at me, and then there was a guy behind her, and he stick his fingers in his ear. She was wearing all black, and black is a color that they use it in my talking a lot. And he looked at her and stuff like that, and I kind of got there was like a thought that came through my mind, and it was like, you can have her if you want, but you have to do what we say, and so I was like, okay, and this is what they do, right? Because they're expert of controlling people's mind, expert of brainwashing, manipulation, dark psychology, all that stuff, and so they can put people on hypnosis and basically control them. So I guess if you want whatever woman you want, you can go along with this program, and they will probably give you the type of woman that you want. Okay, or if you're a woman, they give you the type of man that you want. Or if you're into the same sex, they give you whatever same sex person that you want. Okay, so what I wanted to do here is just where is it here that I'm looking for? I'm looking for the part that talks about how coercive persuasion programs don't really work in the sense that, because once they stop the psychological warfare, right, or the psychological conditioning, then the person reverts back to their, I wouldn't say totally revert back into their old self, but the majority of who they were before that, they revert back to that. Okay. And this is also important. He said the Central Intelligence Agency seems to have taken seriously the myth about brainwashing power to destroy the will, due perhaps to concern that an enemy had perfected a method of dependably overcoming will, or perhaps in hopes of being the first to develop such a method. The agency embarked on a research program codenamed MK Ultra. It became a pathetic and tragic failure, just like their coercive persuasion program is. It is a pathetic and tragic failure. For one, who is taking the blame for those TIs, those of us who've committed suicide because of this program? Who is taking the blame for those of us who have become homeless? Who is taking the blame for those of us who have been suffering serious psychological damage because of this program, right? So they're doing this to people, and they know that they're not trying to help nobody. They know this, but this is something that they're trying to feed to the public, to their civilian perps. When they get caught, when they've been exposed, all of a sudden they switch to, oh well, we're trying to help. Okay? So when you expose them, they divert from their true agenda, which is to control and destroy your life, right? To not, oh, we're trying to help them. If they don't listen to us, then we're gonna destroy their life, right? Tell you, it never ceases to amaze me that how people can be so cruel, and how some people can be so weak-minded as to follow, this sort of program, right? Okay, and I just had it here. Maybe I came too far. Anyway, you guys can go read this yourself. Okay, and okay, it says. All right. Well, I'm not going to read through because I have a lot of stuff to do. So anyway, let's move on. Right. So like I said, lately, since I've been targeted so much by the police, also, I gotta because one of the things that they try to do is try to paint a false narrative of the targeted individual. Right. So, for example, they may say this person is violent, this person is crazy, what have you. In the case of me and Pam, sometimes, like, if I'm around her, she act like she's scared, and I said to her, I said, "Are you scared of me?" I said, "Of all the years that we've been together, everything that I've been through, all my talking and shit, I have never ever physically hurt you in any single way. I may have hurt you emotionally because of the fact that I was being targeted, and we used to get into argument because I was accusing you of targeting me, but that wasn't intentional. Okay, that was because something was being done to me in a psychological manner, in which I, at times, couldn't deal with. Okay, so these the government, police officers, what have you, how they coerce people into confession, right? And this report, the psych report, that talks about coerced to confess, the psychology of false confession. I want you guys to read this because this is very interesting, very important that people understand that these police are, like I said, the CIA had already embedded itself within New York City, within major metropolitan police department in the 1980s. Okay, and the reason why they did that was because they were running the drug program. Okay, even though you had a lot of black people who were selling drugs, but the the drug laws at the top were the CIA. Okay, and the enforcers were the Drug Enforcement Agency. Right, within the police department, and they had agents within there. That's why a lot of police officers within the New York City Police Department, that's why they can coerce people into false confession. They've learned that from the CIA. Okay. All right. So now we talk about, as I talk about this. Actually, I kind of want to do that last, but anyway. So 40% of police officers' families suffer domestic violence. Okay. So if you're a TI and they try to say, "Oh, you're a violent person," or what have you, just especially if you think we know it's the cops, right? So especially if you come from a law enforcement agency, you just say 40% of police officers' family experience domestic violence. Okay, and that is, they talk about in this. Whether it's true or not, and then it goes, the answer is complicated. It's not complicated, it's the truth. Okay, it says right here, it says recent data about police officers and domestic violence is scarce, meaning finding accurate statistics is complicit. But 2 studies have found that at least 40% of police officer family experience domestic violence, in contrast to 10% of families in the general population. The National Center for Women and Policy says a 3rd study of older and more experienced officers found a rate of 24%, indicating that domestic violence is 2 to 4 times more common among police families than American families in general. Okay? Let's remember that. So when they want to paint us as being some violent type of people or what have you, of community, what have you, like I said, it's like the pot calling the kettle black. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? What they do is that they self-project. They know exactly who they are. A lot of them on the police force are human traffickers, sex traffickers, drug dealers, okay, extortionists, rapists, right, murderers. They know this. Okay. So the study said the number is concerning considering spouses and children of police officers have unique vulnerability. That's because of three things the study says. Officer who is abusing them has a gun. The police officers who is abusing them knows the location of battered women's shelters. The officer who is abusing them know how to manipulate the system to avoid penalty and or shift blame to the victims. Okay, and then it goes on to talk about these police officers who shot and killed their wife and their kids. Okay, and it's crazy. It's crazy, right? So these people are the ones that will come and arrest you for if you have a fight with your girlfriend or if you have a fight with your husband for domestic violence. Then they'll go home and they'll beat up on their wives or they beat up on their husband, depending on whether the officer is a man or woman, right? And they'll literally murder their kids and even themselves and their wives or husbands, right? So we have to do what they're doing to us. They want to, we have to tell the truth, because what they're doing is giving a false narrative, right? But we're going to tell their true narrative. Okay? We're going to tell their true narrative. All right? So I want you guys just do some research. Do some research about coercive persuasion, forced confessions, police officers who engage in criminal activities, domestic violence abuse amongst police officers, okay, rape amongst rape done by police officers, right? Killing of innocent people, murder done by police officers. Do a research and you'll find a shitload of articles, information out there about police officers. Okay, so when you see them driving up and down, don't think that they're your protector. They're to serve and protect you. They serve and protect their own interests and the people at the top. All right, they're not interested in protecting you per se. They just act like some of them will actually do their job, but the majority of them don't do their job. Okay, they just go around because again it's the criminal mentality that they have. All right, and they're the ones that they want to be the only ones that committing criminal activities and getting away with it. Okay, just remember that. So if you're a criminal out there, if you want to be a criminal and get away with it, join the police force. That's what the majority of criminals are. Okay, so let's go to the video, to the videos. Okay, so I went to the car. This was a couple of days ago, and someone put this on the hood, not the hood, but the windshield of the car. Excuse my language. Okay, that's what they love to do. Okay, they'll single out the car that I drive, and they'll put stuff, either on the hood, on the car itself, on the roof of the car, or on the windshield, right? As you guys just saw. So this happens yesterday. So yesterday I was going to pick up the kids from after school. They have an after school program at the Boys and Girls Club. Turn the corner. Guess who? Sirens passing by, right? Fire truck harassment, noise campaign. And you guys have seen this over the years. I'm sure you guys know this is a regular thing, right? So for the past 2 days, I've been seeing a lot of fire trucks wherever I go. Alright, so you see this guy just came out of the check cashing place. I think he just came out of the check cashing place. Let me see. Let me make sure. Yep. Alright, so here he goes. He's gonna open the guy in front here in the black, he's gonna open his mouth. Right? This is what they'll do also. And then the guy in the back, he's gonna close his mouth, right? Fold his lips in again. You know, it's what it is that they do. It is that they send conflicted messages, right, in order to confuse you. So, let's say one person to open their mouth, they're like, "Oh yeah, talk about your target," and then they'll send somebody else after, and they're like, "Say, well, don't talk about your targeting." It is to cause confusion, right? Okay, let me just let's go to the next video. Now, just picked up the kids from the after-school program. We're heading back home, and you'll hear the fire truck again. Okay, so now it's going back in the opposite direction. Okay, right there. Okay, now when I went to pick them up, I think I might have been there for about maybe 10 to 15 minutes, right? So from the previous video where you see the fire truck going by, after that, it took me a couple of minutes to walk there, and then I was in there for like 10 to 15 minutes, and then we came back outside walking, and then, you know, as you guys see, there's the fire truck again. Okay, and they're not done. They're not done. Okay, so, and again, you know, so after Pam, me and Pam got into this big fight last night. I went home, and I got on my block, and I saw this, you know, this person walking towards me, wearing a white shirt, you know, and they were, you know, doing these hand signals. So I took my phone out and I started recording. And when I did that, the person turned around. Now, I didn't know it was a little kid at first, you know, until I got closer. And you hear me say, it's actually a white shirt, a white jacket. Now this person, this kid, is actually a kid, was literally walking towards me. Okay, and the minute I took up my phone to start recording, he turned around and he started walking. You know. And they've been told exactly what to do if I take up my phone and start recording. Okay. So you see, he putting his arms out. What is he doing? He has his arm turned with the palm of his hand facing towards me, right? Yep. All right. So let's get to the next video, because I turned the video off after that. But then, you know, I started hearing sirens, and as I'm walking past these two guys, you're gonna hear what they say. You see, he says you get 3 fights, right? So remember, I tell you guys that whenever me and Pan get into an argument and I leave, yeah, okay, 2 things will happen, right? Actually, 3 things will happen. If I'm driving, I wasn't driving, I was taking the bus, and even I was taking the bus, there was a lot of police presence along the way. Right, but if I'm driving, you'll see the police presence, and I had videos of that, and a lot of people wearing white. Okay, and what they'll do is that they'll do these hand signals where they'll just like use 3 fingers. If they see me, let's say they're fixing their bag, women are fixing their bag, they will put their position their hands with just 3 fingers outside of their bag while trying to use their pinky finger and their thumb to try to get whatever is in their bag. They're not trying to get anything. That's just a way of them saying 3, what have you. And 3, I don't know, 3 witnesses, what have you. I guess maybe they're trying to find these false witnesses, all right, or have false witness to try to accuse me of something, okay? And so when I get into an argument with her, they'll do the 3 fingers, and then, like I said, we usually speak the night before we go to bed, and kind of iron things out a little bit, and we're back on the same thing again, right? You know what I'm saying? And then they'll start with the 4 fingers, right? So this is a tactic that they've been doing. And like I said, also they've been whenever I'm over here, and they'll use the sirens a lot, and then her behavior would just change, like her demeanor, I should say. Her demeanor would just change. Her demeanor goes from being upbeat to being more like depressed, kind of somber, and then she starts with the palm fixation drill, right? So she's getting her clues from the sirens, okay, from the police sirens, and I'm talking about not the ones you hear like that, but the one that go whoop whoop whoop, right? Or it just be whoop and that's it. And then her demeanor would just change, okay? So you guys hear it for yourself. It's called indirect conversation. They tried to send a subliminal message, okay? And here in the video here, I'm walking home. You hear the sirens. Okay. Okay. Let's get to the next video. Now this is this morning on my way to school. Like I said last night, the police again. When I was on the bus, I got the bus to catch the other bus, and heavy police presence driving by slowly, flashing their lights, and they love to flash their blue and red lights when they see me all the time. It's usually, sometimes they'll do a solid color blue or a solid color red, but last night it was like just red and blue, right? So here I am walking to school. I had got off the train and walking to school, and then you'll see I turn the camera to this guy. All right, so you see how he positioned his hands right here, where the palm of his hands is facing. Before he was doing that, he was actually grabbing his penis, right, through his clothes, grabbing his crotch. Okay, and that's why I turned the camera towards him. And then when he saw me turn the camera towards him, then he moves his hand to the side. But I just so happened to catch where he didn't really fully move it yet. It didn't go all the way to the side yet, but it just, you'll see. Let me go back a little bit here, and let's see if I can get it right here, right there. You see that? How he did it again, but as I turned, he kind of moved it. Okay, all right. So let me go back slightly. I'm trying to pause it at the exact moment that he did it. All right, and there's a reason why, because you see the police car right here again, flashing the blue and red lights. Okay, let me just pause it properly. So right there, okay, right there is when he's grabbing his crotch, okay, and he was doing it before too, and that's why I turned, and he saw me do it, so he slid his hands to the side, right, and then he goes to do the palm thing, right, and this is what they're doing. It basically, now that it's like they're using a different tactics to try to shut me up, to try to stop me from doing the video, right, and so if I do the video, then they start doing, when I start recording, they start doing the whole palm fixation drill, okay? After they grab their crotch, right? So now, you want to see how this subliminal message works? So he's grabbing his crotch while there's a bus there and there's a stop sign, okay? Now the police is there, right? The police officers, when they saw me, they, of course, they position themselves there. It's all part of the, the targeting. and they were buying coffee as an excuse to say, hey, we were just buying coffee, right? But they had gotten in their car, from from about, I would say, half a block from the block that I was walking, because they saw me, because the traffic didn't wasn't flowing yet. So they stood up there facing the direction that I was walking, right? And then they got in their vehicle, and of course they stood there as the light changed, and the bus there with the sign stopped. Okay, because they're trying to stop me from going to school, right? So they'll do stuff like that, right? And then you had this woman over here. She's over here. You see that what she's doing, she's actually like looking at her nails in her hands. They've been doing that a lot lately also. Okay. And now they drive off. Because it's funny, they were there. They could have drove off a long time ago, but they waited until the bus pulled up beside them, and then as the light changed, then they drove off, right? But again, I'm just exposing everything that they're doing. The only way you're going to expose this program is to study it. Okay, so now you see again these people standing here. Again, they're there to buy stuff from the food cart, but they're also there to target me. As soon as I cross over the street, you'll see this young lady here, She she starts playing with her hair, and there this guy, he turns in the direction I'm walking in, and he folds his lips. Okay, while she's playing with her hair, and they see the forefinger. Wait, I think the other lady might have so as she's playing with her hair, there goes the forefinger. Let me just pause it. Okay, right there. Okay, and then see how she looks at him. So this is what they've been doing. Pam had sent me a picture, a text of some guy that I guess was interested in her. And let me see if I can pull up that text. And she was saying that this guy was interested in her, but she turned him down because even though we weren't good, we wasn't really in the relationship, she wasn't ready. So she kind of sent me this text to tell me that if she wanted to talk to whoever this person is, she could have, but she turned them down so I could see. So I said to her, is that supposed to make me feel better? You know what I'm saying? Is that's what you're doing? Okay. Because of all of the issues you've been having and her not being truthful, and having sexually explicit conversation with her ex and stuff like that. Well, her exes, not just one ex. Okay, it was two of them, and there's probably another one too that I haven't really know, but she's gotten pretty slick on that now. So, but I just confronted her about it. You know what I'm saying? I just want to talk to her about it because I'm not going to hold it in. Because if I hold it in, it's going to fester and they're going to get angry and have a blow up. Even though a lot of shit I do have blow ups and she has blow up because of this targeting and these people constantly interfering in our relationship, right? Okay, so all right. Alright, so here's this person. Don't know this person's name. But a Hispanic dude. Right? Or you'll see. Let me see if I wait. Let's go on the webcam. Okay, so let me show you this individual. So you see how this is this individual, right? You know, light skin, look Hispanic, what have you. So they've been trying to send me subliminal message about, you know, if I keep doing my video, then they're going to send this guy to, you know, quote her and, you know, turn her away from me, whatever and such. And I'm like, whatever, you know, if that's what, you know, she wants, that's what she wants. Okay, I'll be hurt. Yeah, of course I will. You know, still love the woman, but you know, I have no say in that. So again, they always try to find some way to send you some sort of threat, right? Because they've tried everything else and it didn't work. You know, so what they'll do is that they'll try to use the people that you love they'll either use them or find some way of manipulating them and getting others to, you know, come in and break up your relationships, what have you, right? So this is what they do. So this is, you see how her eyes turns towards him, right? Okay, and like I said, this is not coincidental. This is a you know, subliminal message. Okay, so let's as a matter of fact, let me, because I want to make this a little bigger. Let me so you guys can see better. Okay, and let's go real-time editing, people. Real-time editing, right? Okay. All right, so I want you to watch, okay, and pay attention. All right, because they always, every single day, they always sending some type of subliminal message, right? Okay, so you see as I approach, he turns. All right, looks towards me. He starts folding his lips. She starts playing with her hair. Okay. Okay. Again, she'll do the forefinger. Then you see the palm as she brushes her hair. She turns like her palm. Again, that's the palm fixation drill. This is just a masking technique. Okay. And then she turns and she looks at him. Okay. And then you see the woman in front here. She does the hand signal again. Trigger one and the hand signal behind the back head, hands behind the head, which I showed you plenty of times. This is a hand signal that they engage in and that they'll use. Okay. Now, did you see what she just did with her fingers? All right, watch. Let me pause it. Not there yet. Okay, wait. Let's go back. Let's go back. I want to quite get it. Okay, there we go. So you'll see I give me the middle finger, right? When I pause it, and then she does three fingers, right? But then she see how she stick the middle finger up. Actually, it's four fingers, but she sticks the middle finger out, right, as well as her pinky finger, right? So I want to pause it exactly when you see her use her middle finger right there. Let's go back slightly, right? Go back slightly. Okay. It's kind of hard with this program. I gotta click right there. Okay, so you see right there, she's giving me the middle finger. Okay, all right, and then palm fixation drill, all right, where she right there. Okay, so you see 1, 2, 3, and the middle finger sticking out, right, as well as the pinky finger towards me, right? Okay. Again, this is what they do. Okay. This is the sort of behavior in which they engage. Okay, so you have to. So the police again is the ones that are giving these people, train these people how to participate and how to, psychologically torture, psychologically harass the targeted individual. Okay. All right. So now today, remember about maybe 2 videos when I was going to pick up the kids from after school, and after I picked them up, heading back home with the fire trucks. So here I am now walking to the bus, going to Pam's to again pick up the kids from school because Ethan didn't want to go to after school. And I'm walking, and there were these firemen standing across the street. When they saw me coming, they signaled to the driver of the fire truck to reverse back. Okay. Okay. And then let's see, next video. Okay, and so after I pick up the kids from school, we went to the store. Actually, before this, let me so I got a call. They're supposed to bring, every month I get medication, which is in the form of an injection for pain in the back of my head, right? So since I've gotten that prescription every month, they've been delivering the medicine to Pam because I'm over here in the afternoon. So because I gotta pick up the kids and stuff like that, right? And I've gotten it here all the time. Last week, I think it was either Sunday, I got a phone call about the medication, right? That is going to be delivered to me this week, and to confirm the address, and I gave them Pam's address. Okay. Why is it that this guy called me today and he's like, I'm in front of your building? I'm like, well, no, you're not. I'm right here. So there was another car parked up. It was a gray car. He said he was in a gray car. There was another car parked. It was a gray car. So I went. He's like, I'm across the street. So I went across the street, and there was a guy. This is all the setup. This is what they do, right? So this is all the setup. This is what they do. They're masterful at doing these things. Okay, now. I don't, I've had videos where it shows my block, my apartment building. I have videos that shows Pam's block, Pam's apartment building. So they know I'm either here by Pam or at my house, right? But because we were being microwaved last night and mind control last night, then we got into that big argument, and I was like, you know what, that's it, I'm done, whatever, right? Came home, you know what I'm saying? So they, from the beginning, they had this whole thing planned out, right? Because they figure, hey, you know what, this is it. We're going to get them too upset that they're going to be arguing, and then, they're going to break up, and that's going to be it, right? So that's why they send the person to deliver the medication at my apartment building, which, they never did, right? And I always give the address, Pam's address, okay? But they do their own thing. They disregard whatever I said because, whatever shit they try to do, what have you. So I'm coming out of the store, and this clown, okay, he sees me and he starts grabbing his penis, right? I mean, like holding on to it really, really tight. I'm walking with my kids now. He's doing this in front of my kids. So I took up my phone. You hear the fire truck? It's very low though. So I took up my phone to record his ass, and then he stops, right? So then now he's acting as if he's talking to the person sitting down, right? So again, this is all theater, and this is what they do to avoid. Because they know I'm going to record, and so certain things they don't want me to catch on camera, right? And coming out the store, I mean, wasn't talking that heavily, so I never really thought about taking the phone to record. So, but even when he stopped, I still took my phone out and I still recorded his ass. And watch what happened. Okay, so once he saw me recording, right? So now he turns his hand, because again, you see the palm fixation drill, because this is what they're doing now. So now every time I take up my phone to record now, what they're going to do, they're going to start looking at the palm of their hand, or they're going to try to position their hand to where I can see the palm of it, right? So basically, it's like, well, if you record, you're going to do the palm fixation drill a lot more on you, okay? And whereas it was predominantly women, now men are doing it too. Okay, and again, this is a masking technique, right? So take a good look at this guy, okay? Okay, let's go back. Let's get a better picture. Here he is. Okay, grabbing onto his penis. Right when he sees me. Okay. You know what I call them? And they just totally ignore me, right? Because again, they know what they're doing, so but they don't want to acknowledge it. You know, they won't step to me. They won't step. You know, except for that one guy who, after I caught him sticking his tongue at me, I haven't seen him since. I haven't seen him on the block since. Okay, because I told his ass the video's going to the FBI. Now here's another one. Now you see, and again, this is all street theater. So, you know, they do what is called a controlled environment. So because I'm by Pam most of the time, but my house will have you, or now since I'm going out to going to college, they have to. These are all controlled environments, right? But except we're out in the public, but it's still a controlled environment, right? So everybody, most people that I come in contact with have already been conditioned, trained, manipulated into doing these things. So you see how he folds his lips as he's walking towards me? Okay. Then he starts looking at my kids. See, he starts looking at my kids again with the threatening stare. Let's take a good look at him again. I mean, not again, but this is the new one, new perp. Okay. Take a look at him, ladies and gentlemen. You see him on the streets of Brooklyn. Harass his ass. Yes, I said it. Psychologically, of course. Since they love to claim that you know, that it's all in my head. Well, I'm explaining that it's just not in my head, okay? And you guys can see for yourself. Alright. Okay, see what else? What other video here? Okay, I think that's it, right? So that's it for the video, and that's just within, you know, the past couple of days, right? Yesterday mostly and today that this has been happening, right? And so, and again, you know, the police are directly involved in this, and particularly when, like I said, when I start to see a heavy presence of police vehicles, you know, and you know, because I was on the bus last night after the argument with Pam, and of course, the usual, I you know, I knew that there were going to be a heavy police presence on my way home, which they were, of course, you know. So, well, that's it for the video. You guys have a good evening, because it's evening time now, going towards night. But you guys have a good evening, and I will see you guys on the next video.